Let's talk about the multiplayer first. Most of you may think that I will start complaining about the multiplayer and say that it's one of the worst multiplayers in the world, but no, I'm not gonna do that. If you are a real Call of Duty fan that have been playing for the past 10 years, then you should know that part of the Call of Duty experience is having an incomplete game. It's just a fact at this point. A lot of people act like they're in shock, like, wow, the game doesn't have leaderboards, or wow, the spawns are terrible, or something like, oh, the connection is pretty bad, or maybe, oh, I'm having problems joining a party with my friends. Is this really a AAA title? I cannot believe I paid $60 for this game. I wouldn't have done it if I knew that it would have all of these problems. Like, come on guys, you knew what you were getting into. This is Call of Duty. That's how it's been before, and it's still the same. I'm not saying that what the developers are doing is right. I'm just saying, if you already know that this will happen from previous experience, why do you continue buying the game in the first place? You know it's gonna have some features missing or some bugs at launch. You know it's gonna have some broken stuff. You know that it will only be fixed like a few months after launch, but you still go ahead, buy the game, and then complain like it's your first time experiencing this. The same goes with skill-based matchmaking. You already know that it will have skill-based matchmaking, but you still go ahead, buy the game, and then just complain that, hey, Call of Duty isn't fun anymore. Everybody is just sweating their balls off. And the same goes with the overall gameplay. You know that the gameplay have been slightly changed year after year to the point that it doesn't exactly play like the older Call of Duty games from the golden days, but you still buy the game and complain that it's not the same as it used to be. At this point, you should know what you'll get into when you're buying a Call of Duty game, which is an incomplete package. But anyway, besides that, there's not much to complain about in the multiplayer, except for that one multiplayer map that has a lot of cars. Not the one that they made a trailer about. That one is excellent, to be honest. I'm talking about, I think it's called Border Crossing. The map just sucks. They seriously need to add an option to vote to skip, because I'm sure everybody hates that map. The game plays and feels a lot like Modern Warfare from 2019, but some mechanics have been slightly altered or completely removed, like slide canceling and bunny hopping. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just different. I personally don't care, I just got used to it. If you liked Modern Warfare 2019's multiplayer, then you will most likely enjoy this one. But if you want this game to be Modern Warfare 2 from 2009, or maybe Black Ops 2, then you should f*** off and go play Modern Warfare 2 from 2009. Or you should f*** off and play Black Ops 2. This is not 2009. This is not Black Ops 2. And it won't be. So stop expecting that. That's pretty much it for the multiplayer, but I know that at this point you probably are thinking of something that I didn't mention. So please let me know in the comments about what are your pros and cons about the multiplayer, and I'll take that list and compile it into the pinned comment so that everybody can see the list. Now let's talk about Spec Ops, which is the most disappointing game mode in this game. There are only 3 missions in Spec Ops, and now like they release an update and now it's 4 missions. These 3 or 4 missions, you will only play them once and never want to play them again. It's so bad that it might as well not be in the game. If I were them, I would just rename the game mode just to bonus content or something, because that's how it feels like. It doesn't feel like it's an entire game mode. It just feels like bonus content. Like, remember in Black Ops 3, we had bonus content where we had a mini game of wall running, and the goal was to get to the end in the fastest time possible. That was just bonus content. It didn't represent 1/3 of the game, and as I said, I seriously wouldn't mind if it wasn't in the game in the first place. So if you want to get the game just for Spec Ops, not that I think anyone would buy this game just for Spec Ops, but if you did, I think you should look elsewhere. It's pretty bad. I just realized while I was making this video, the game mode isn't really called Spec Ops anymore, it's just called Cooperative, but still, it still represents 1/3 of the game. Now let's talk about the campaign. The main things that stood out for me about the campaign are the pacing and the variety. There's no one mission that I felt like, oh, this is repetitive, or oh, this is boring, which is really hard to achieve achieve, considering that even one of the best games I've played out there had this problem of having that one mission or that one part of the game where you're just like, ugh, I just want to finish this part because it's really putting me to sleep. I'm looking at you, God of War Ragnarok. I mean, I was looking at God of War Ragnarok while I was making this video. Anyhow, if I were to take the story by itself and give it a rating, I wouldn't think much of it. I'd probably say it's average, but if we take it as a package, story, sounds, graphics, art style, acting and the voice acting and all that stuff, that's where it starts to make a huge difference between an average campaign and an excellent campaign like this one. If you liked Modern Warfare 2019's campaign, then you will most definitely like this one. They have also turned down the shocking content, which in 2019 just felt as if it was there just for the sake of it. For me at least, the campaign alone felt like it was worth the money. Like if the game only had the campaign, I would be satisfied with the price I paid. I know that I sound like a blind fanboy at this point and you might not agree with me, but the campaign was really good for me. So all in all, the campaign is in the top 3 Call of Duty campaigns I've ever played. So I really think you should try this one as well. This will be the last Call of Duty game until 2024. So if you're thinking of buying it for the multiplayer, it's gonna be the best value for money when it comes to Call of Duty games, period. I have to say that it's one of the best games I've played in 2022, given how games have been disappointing lately. And again, don't expect this to be Modern Warfare 2 from 2009. I mean, don't even think that it's gonna be similar to any of the older Call of Duty games. It is a totally different game. Is it the best Call of Duty game ever made? I can't really say, but it's really good. That's all I have to say. And I know that I've been praising this game a lot, so you might be asking, oh, am I supporting buying unfinished games now? Do I have standards so low that I'm okay with paying $60 for an unfinished game? No, I'm not saying that. If it was any other game, I would genuinely be pissed off. But when it comes to Call of Duty, having an unfinished game was, and it will always be, part of the experience. You should know that by now. This Reddit comment sums it up perfectly. I don't understand how people buy the same game every year and complain about the same game they've bought for years on end. If you want a perfect game, then you should look elsewhere. Or maybe you should just wait a few months for things to get patched, and then you can get Modern Warfare 2 for a discounted price, which is a great deal if you ask me. Anyway, the bottom line is I am satisfied with Modern Warfare 2. I have been playing a lot of multiplayer and I've been enjoying it a lot. So in my opinion, I think it's definitely worth it. Anyway, Jane, bye bye.